Welcome to the Kian Prince Foundation Stadium here. It's QPR are the hosts for Leicester City's third pre-season game of the summer. About 2 minutes before we came on air, the heavens decided to open. So welcome to a very rainy QPR here this afternoon. I'm Dan Bates, your host today. Alongside me, as ever, is Jerry Taggart, former Foxes defender. Now, we got a bit lucky, didn't we, on Wednesday with the weather at Wickham. It never quite rained on us, but literally, as I said, just as we were about to come on, the heavens
it was in the forecast. It's not too bad at the minute, Dan. I'll accept this, and I'm sure the players would as well, just to, keep those body temperatures down a bit. But as long as it stays like this, I think the old wig should be okay.
Yeah, it's fairly warm as well anyway, at least, isn't it? Right, we can see the Leicester City players behind us coming out for their warm-ups, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen the teams on social media as well. Looks fairly strong, doesn't it, for Leicester City now?
Yeah, absolutely. We're third game in. It's a pre-season, and you would probably expect some players today. We've seen 2 11s each half of the last 2 pre-season games. We'll probably see that change slightly today with players getting more game time, probably staying on for 60, 65 minutes. Not the whole team, but definitely some of the players. That's the way it works. The level of opposition has been ramped up as well. QPR have been on a decent pre-season run, if that's anything to go by. So again, another stern test today for Leicester.
We'll talk about individuals in the team a little bit later, but let's talk more about just the generals, really, of pre-season. It's the third game now. I mean, can you remember back to your playing days, the third game of pre-season? God, he's really going back, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
The third game of pre-season, is that when you're really starting to get into the swing of things? Is this the level where you feel like you're there now?
Well, definitely, as I've just mentioned, the level of opposition definitely ramps up a little bit. And so the games will become a little bit more important. You can see it's a compact ground. There's going to be a few more fans in today than there was at Wickham. And then before that at Burton. So the atmosphere will play its part in today's game, so you may well see a few more tasty challenges than you have done in the last two pre-season games, and that in itself ups the ante in a pre-season game. Obviously, first and foremost, miles in the legs, match fitness, crucially important. Number 2, as we've always spoke about throughout pre-season, is don't get injured. And thirdly, it's about trying to get the style of play flowing. We haven't really seen that in large spades so far. But as the longer the pre-season goes on, the more Brendan Rodgers will expect to see that free-flowing football we've come to expect.
You talk about, obviously, the opposition. We've had 2 League One teams. This is now a Championship team. It's the Europa League winners next on Wednesday, and then you take into account Manchester City in the Community Shield. So, as ever with pre-season, you can just see that steady rise in the calibre of opposition.
Yeah, that's right. It's a slow and steady process. There's no point going out all guns blazing in the first game, because that's a recipe for disaster, i.e. injury to players. And that's why you've seen Brendan split the teams in half for both those games. And that's probably why today you'll see some players get more than 45 minutes. We see Harvey Barnes on the pitch for the first time as well this pre-season, which is absolutely fantastic. And he'll probably only play a half, I would have thought, today, because it's his first game. Yuri Tielemans as well, just coming back from the Euro. So, it's a lot of food for thought in the dressing room with the manager and his coaching staff as regards, and obviously the fitness staff, as regards to how many minutes certain players will get today. But definitely the tempo, the importance of the passing, and and their defensive game as well will definitely be ramped up today.
You referenced one of the names there. I think when you look at the team sheet, there's probably 2 names that stand out, aren't there? There's Yuri Tielemans and Harvey Barnes. How good is it? Firstly, let's talk about Harvey, because we're big fans, aren't we? It's great to see him back. He had such a horrible injury. We've not seen him in action since February, but he's back and he's going to be in action today. We don't know how long he might get. You'd suggest maybe 45 minutes, but it'll just be really good to see him back out there again.
Absolutely. I think, leading up to his injury, it was a February, March time back end of last season, he was in such good form, knocking on the door of an England call-up for the Euros.
You'd got to think he probably certainly would have been in the squad if he'd continued the way he was going.
Absolutely. He gave himself a really good chance with a performance he'd been throwing out last season. So a really frustrating time for him personally. But he's back. He's got to try and put that to the back of his mind now, and look forward. And today is the start of a new journey for Harvey Barnes, and hopefully he can carry on where he left off.
You had knee injuries yourself during your playing career. Thankfully, hopefully, Harvey's doesn't seem as bad as what yours was. But mentally, coming back from an injury like that, how difficult is it? How long do you think it'll take him, firstly physically and also mentally, to recover from it?
Yeah, again, that's all down to the individual, how they deal with that frustration, the disappointment, the depression that you go through when you're out for, even being out for a couple of weeks, Dan, is so frustrating as a player. Never mind a year, you know, was the length of time I was out for. And Harvey's obviously been out for about four or 5 months, whatever it has been, before he stepped back on a pitch. So it's a very, very frustrating time, but it's how you deal with that. Sat at home or sat in the gym every day, doing your weights, doing your rehab. And I'm sure, you know, he's a confident but modest guy. So I'm positive he'll be able to put that behind him. Obviously, first semi-competitive game. They say, okay, there's nothing riding on this game, but it's going to be competitive. There's no doubt about that. So he might just want to feel his way into this and not go too gung-ho himself first game back.
When he also looks at the way that he was playing last season, and you said he was probably on the verge of going to the Euros, he was having an unbelievable season, goals, assists, he seemed to create or score every single game, didn't he? Will he be able to come back with the same level of confidence that he was in that run? Or again, will that take a little bit of time?
Yeah, again, that will just be, you know, slowly but steady progress, mentally, physically, and technically as well. You know, because when you've been out of the game for a long time, even when you just go away for your summer break and you come back in the pre-season, your touch isn't exactly right now. You know, it takes time to get that touch back. And so that'll be no different for Harvey. So yes, it'll be a tentative few weeks for him. So it's all about getting through these next couple of games of pre-season, making sure he doesn't get injured. And also an issue with players coming back from serious injuries, sometimes just picking up little niggly injuries on the side. So very, very important he manages himself.
I guess he'll probably look at what happened with Ricardo Pereira. You know, he got that injury, didn't he, against Aston Villa the game before, Project Restart the game before lockdown hit.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't come back the same Ricardo, did we? But now he's got a full pre-season. Hopefully we'll see that. And maybe it'll be a similar story with Harvey. Yes, he's not been out for as long as Ricardo unfortunately was out for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm sure that the rehab facilities now, the whole facility they have now, down at the new training ground at Seagrave, you know, world class. So he'll have all the attention that he's needed to get him back to where he thinks he needs to get to. As I said, we're seeing him on the pitch today. It's all about him going on to that pitch. First few games, I've said, just managing yourself. But you've got to grow in confidence, you've got to grow in stature, and you've got to try and find that form. It may take a month, may take 2 months, but I'm sure, because he's young as well, and when you're that little bit younger, you can recover that little bit better, that little bit quicker.
Well, the sun has thankfully come out here at the Key and Prince Foundation Stadium. We'll hand up now to our commentary team of Chris Parrott and Dean Hammond, and they can talk us through the team news.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. No such worries about the weather up here in the gantry undercover, but the team news is very interesting, always is at this time of the year. And as we will see very shortly, Leicester City, there are 3 players who line up for the first time this pre-season. You've been talking about him, Harvey Barnes there on the left of a front 3. His first appearance since that injury late on in February robbed him of the end of the campaign, and who knows what might have happened in the European Championships at the summer. Yuri Tielemans returns in midfield, his first appearance of pre-season. He last played for Belgium against Italy in Euro 2020 on the 2nd of July. And great to see Ayoze Perez back as well on the right of that front 3. This is the strongest 11 that Brendan Rodgers has so far fielded. And as you guys have been mentioning, we anticipate that a few players might get more than 45 minutes. So far in pre-season, it has been 2 11s in each half, but we understand that some of these players will be playing for more than 45 minutes. And Dean Hammond, the guys have been talking about Harvey Barnes, so we'll leave that to them. But I just wonder from your point of view as a former midfielder, that 3 of Tielemans and Didi Soumare playing together for the first time in a Leicester shirt is pretty exciting.
It really is, Chris. I mean, it's the combination between the 3. The one thing I like is the physical presence, the power that they've got. Very, you know, technically very good, gifted footballers, but really looking forward to seeing them dominate the midfield with and without the ball. Like I say, they're all athletes. You know, Tielemans coming back, it's going to take him a little bit of time to play his way in, but his technical ability, the way he dominates games is fantastic. And Didi, you know, what a player, gets the ball back, does everything, the basics exceptionally well. And Buba, you know, coming in, feeling his way into the club. But the other night against Wickham, 1 or 2 nice touches, but you could see the power in him, you know, winning those second balls, anticipating the second balls. And I just think those 3 in there could really, really dominate games. So interesting to see today.
First test against a very good Queen's Park Rangers team who've been in excellent form in pre-season. On the bench, the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho, Mark Brighton, fresh from his new contract, and the other summer arrival in Patson Daka. He'll be on the bench today. We may well see him at some stage. Azy Perez, great to have him back as well from a Leicester point of view. Had a bit of a niggly injury, but he's one of those now who can come in and play in this third pre-season game. Important minutes for him coming up.
I think the word you've used there, Chris, is important. You know, you want your squad to be strong at the beginning of the season. So, you know, Perez coming back in, again, another talented player, can bring different things to different qualities to the group, to the team. So really important for him to get probably at least 45 minutes today. I can't imagine he'll play much longer than that, but, you know, to feed his way back in again, find that conditioning just in preparation for the new season. But yeah, I like Perez. You know, he brings something different to the team.
Someone else that I know you've seen a lot of, because you watch quite a fair bit of Southampton as well, is Ryan Bertrand, who has arrived this summer. Very interesting, and you can see this full interview on LCFC.com with Brendan Rodgers speaking about the 3 arrivals, saying that Soumare and Daka, this season might just be one of adaptation, but Ryan Bertrand is Premier League ready. Now, he didn't play at Wickham, he is back today. Just how impressed have you been with what you've seen of him at St Mary's, and what do you think he's going to bring to this Leicester City squad?
I think he's a brilliant signing. He had a fantastic career at Southampton. You know, that Premier League experience as a professional footballer will definitely help the group. And you just look at the 2 fullbacks today, real experience. And, you know, Ryan's got everything. You know, the modern day fullback, yes, he's a little bit older, but he can still get down the wing, lovely overlapping runs, times them very well, doesn't always do it. You know, and that experience in defending as well, and will lead the group as well from his experience. So a really, really good signing, and looking forward to seeing him play today.
Yeah, more than 400 league starts in Ryan Bertrand's professional career, which started just down the road at Chelsea, of course, when he was that surprise inclusion in a Champions League final. Well, the sun is out at the current Prince Foundation Stadium. Kickoff is, 17 minutes away. Dan, we'll go back down pitch side for you and Jerry Taggart's thoughts.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, we'll hear from Chris Parrott and Dean Hammond a little bit later on, and of course they've got the commentary for us. We were very lucky, Jerry, because during their little talk about the team news, one ball did hit us, so thankfully we weren't on air for that one. Fascinating stuff. They were talking about the midfield 3 in particular. Let's concentrate on the back 4. I know they were talking about Ryan Bertrand, but as a back 4, it looks pretty solid, and maybe that could be the one moving forward, certainly at the start of this season. Yeah,
that's right. You know, obviously there's 1 or 2 players that haven't featured, you know, the likes of Johnny Evans, who haven't featured so far. But as far as that back 4 is concerned, you know, Ryan Bertrand coming in again today, solid performer throughout the years with Southampton mainly. You know, Ricardo coming back looking in decent form, and obviously the 2 young bucks at the back, and Soyuncu and Fofana, who, you know, everybody's hoping they're going to have another massive season. So yeah, you'd have to say that unless someone just, you know, comes out of the pack, that the back 4 will probably, obviously Luke Thomas might have something to say about that moving forward.
He's looked quite good in pre-season.
Yeah, he's looked very good, Luke Thomas, as well. But he may opt to go with that experience of Bertrand, because across the rest of the back 4, obviously apart from the goalkeeper, there isn't that much.
There's a little bit of shooting practice going on, as you can see on your screen right now, and we're awfully close to that. So we're just being as careful as we can, just in case one does come our way. They were talking about the midfield 3 in general, Dean and Chris. Let's concentrate on one man, and that's Yuri Tielemans. Again, we saw him in the Euros. He had a fantastic tournament, didn't he, with Belgium, and again, great to see him back, just as it is with Harvey.
Yeah, I mean, he was a top-class performer last season. You know, deservedly won Player of the Year. I don't think there was any doubt in that. And again, you know, he's gone away with Belgium. Played every game, as far as I know, and you know, performed really well with them. And so again, he's a player that's coming back, and you're expecting big things from Yuri. You know, and obviously with the addition of Buba Soumare coming in, and obviously Wilfred still there alongside him, then you've got to look at that midfield 3 and think, wow, there's big opportunities for them to take control in the majority of the games in that midfield area and absolutely boss it.
Absolutely. Oh, well, a close one from Harvey there. I thought that one might have been coming our way. It's good just seeing the group back and seeing the Leicester fans that are literally just behind you. They're having a bit of fun and a bit of joke with the Leicester players with their shots there. But as we talked about on Wednesday at Wickham, it is just great having fans back again. Yeah. And I don't think that novelty will be lost for at least a few months.
No, I don't think so. You know, we spent that long without the fans, and you know, we were at every game last season without fans, and you know, you realise how difficult it is. Sometimes I was nodding off when I'm doing live commentary because there was just no atmosphere to keep me going. So yeah, it's obviously a great scene, and hopefully, as you said, the novelty of it will not run off, not just for a few weeks, but for the entire season.
Speaking of the fans, they were absolutely delighted with the news that came out last night from the training camp down in Surrey. That's a contract extension for Mark Albrighton. Now, a new 3-year deal, massive fans' favourite. Yeah, Mark Albrighton, isn't he? And it's thoroughly deserved.
Nothing short of what he deserves, Dan. Simple as that. You know, his performances over the years for Leicester City, and apart from that, some of the iconic goals that he scored as well, especially in the European competition, i.e. the Champions League, you know, will live in the memory long, if not forever. But in general, he's just Mr. Dependable, Mr. Reliable, and his performances have proved that. And it just shows what the manager, the board, and the rest of the playing squad think of Mark Albrighton. So very, very much deserved, and congratulations to him.
Yeah, as you referenced that European pedigree that he has, he will always be Leicester City's first ever goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League, and no one can ever take that away from him. He's a title winner, he's an FA Cup winner. We spoke to him this week in the training camp, and he just talked about the moments that he's had in a Leicester City shirt. He wants to continue them. He doesn't look back at it and think, oh, they were the pinnacle, winning the league, playing in the Champions League, winning the FA Cup. He's targeting the next 3 years to go and make more memories, create more moments, win more silverware.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great attitude to have, and he plays with his heart on his sleeve. He gives everything out there. You know, and invariably, when you play football like that, good things happen to you as an individual. So there's no reason why someone like Mark would rest on his laurels. I think if he did, then that would be the beginning of his downfall. So that attitude, that mental attitude of I've got to keep trying to improve, I've got to keep driving forward, that's the only way he knows how to play football. And if you can get 14 or 15 others like that, then you're on to a winning team.
Yeah, spot on the bench for Mark Albrighton today. We're edging nearer and nearer to kick-off. Final thoughts then ahead of the game. We've talked about getting minutes in the legs again. I know it's a bit of a cliche in pre-season, but that is what it's about at the moment. But it'd be nice for these fans behind you to see a goal today.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously, you know, you put importance on every game that you go into. And obviously in pre-season, there's, you know, three rules you follow first and foremost. But when you're playing in a game like this, said with fans, it's a compact ground, good atmosphere here. You know, I've played here a few times, I know what the atmosphere is like. You want to be playing well. You want your strikers scoring goals. You know, you want to be a tight-knit unit at the back, not conceding goals. And that's when it all starts coming together as one team. And so obviously we haven't seen any goals from open play so far in pre-season. And I know that's not the main issue here, but it's always nice, especially for the travelling fans, to maybe see a few goals on the scoreboard at the end of the game.
Yeah, hopefully we do today. The atmosphere is already hotting up here at the Key and Prince Foundation Stadium. Hopefully they do see some goals. We're about 10 minutes away from kick-off, so we can hand back now to our commentary team of Chris Parrott and Dean Hammond after this little break.
Oh, hello. What's going on?
Not much. Just waiting for the football to get back to normal. How about you?
Yeah, me too. Really missing you guys. Could really do with a break though.
So when are you coming to see me?
Hopefully soon, but there's some work I've got to do first. Sawadee.
สวัสดีครับบาย
必Sài Gòn.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey, taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Saturday afternoon football live from West London as Leicester step up their pre-season preparations here at the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. Welcome to live coverage as the Foxes face Queen's Park Rangers, and again plenty of the Blue Army have made their way down to this part of the capital to cheer on their heroes. Well, after two friendlies against League One opposition, it is a championship test this afternoon. QPR start their new season in 7 days, so they are a week ahead of Leicester in their pre-season programme. This is their team. They are unbeaten in pre-season and won at Cambridge in midweek. Three of their summer arrivals start. Jordi de Vice and Charlie Austin were here on loan last season. Andre Dazelle arrived for the best part of £1 million from Ipswich and starts in central midfield. Elias Chair scored one of their goals at the Abbey. So did Scotland international Lyndon Dykes, but he's only on the bench for the R's this afternoon. This is their final pre-season match. Their league opener with Millwall is in just 7 days' time, and a week ago many of these players were part of the side that beat Manchester United here in a pre-season friendly. The all-important Leicester City 11 then. And three players get their first taste of pre-season. Wonderful to see Harvey Barnes back, his first football since that terrible injury he suffered at the end of February. Yuri Tielemans and Ayoze Perez also start this 11, the strongest on paper that Brendan Rodgers has fielded so far. We understand there may be one change at the break, but then a raft of changes on 60 minutes. But many of these players are going to get more than 45 minutes. Ryan Bertrand starts at left back, having missed the defeat at Wickham on Wednesday. Buba Sumare is again in midfield. The other summer signing, Patson Daka, is on the bench. We will see him at some stage here at the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. Dean Hammond alongside myself, Chris Parrott. Always Nice to be in this part of the world, compact old ground. Lovely to see the fans in. This should be a really good test for Leicester City.
It really should. You know, it's an old-fashioned stadium. Like you say, it's brilliant to have the fans back. So, yeah, another step up in class. A championship team that are a week away from starting the season, as you mentioned, which does make a difference in pre-season. So it'll be a really good test for Leicester today. But I'm excited to watch the team that Brendan Rodgers has put out. There's some, like you say, probably the strongest selection he could have made. And now it's time to really kick into gear and start and get ready for the season ahead.
One player went over to the away fans today in particular and gave them a warm round of applause, and that was Yuri Tielemans. Now, his last appearance was in the Euros for Belgium against Italy on the 2nd of July. It's a reasonably short break for him to be back already and back playing, but we saw him warming up. He looked as fit as a flea and he looked pretty sharp as well. How excited are you to see Yuri Tielemans back in a Leicester shirt already?
Yeah, I really am. I'm a big fan of him. I love watching him play. I think he's an all-round midfield player. He can do everything. I love the way he dictates play. He's very dominant in possession. He's a forward-thinking player and he plays football with a smile on his face, which is you want to see. And, you know, his appreciation for the fans was brilliant. I'm sure he's had a couple of weeks rest after the Euros, but been very keen to get back to pre-season. He's been back in the group. He's probably had a couple of weeks training, but his sharpness will still be there. Looks like he's a dedicated professional, so he'll be ready to play today.
We are awaiting the teams. Leicester, again, are going to be in change colours this afternoon. Brendan Rodgers, great interview with him by Dan Bates on LCFC.com, talking about pre-season, about QPR, and saying that the first two games against Burton and Wycombe more about pitch geography, he says, whereas this one is where the tactics begin to come in. And are you expecting to see a different Leicester to the one that we saw on Wednesday and a week ago at the Pirelli Stadium?
I think, yeah, progressing. It's a brilliant, analogy to Brendan Rodgers, pitch geography. I've never heard that before, but it is. When you come back as a player, you kind of lose your bearings a little bit after a few weeks out. I know that seems strange to say, but having that the first couple of games to get used to it, that time in training to get used to it, now it's implementing how are we going to start the season, how are we going to play this season, putting a team out that's going to suit that. So I think today it's players, yes, gaining fitness again, but it's really getting focused now. How are we going to start the season? Can you get that rhythm going again? Can you get that pattern going again? And getting used to playing with each other.
Well, the Leicester City fans rise to their feet because here come the two teams. Leicester in their new mint away strip, which is now on sale. Go to lfc.com/shop for that. And Queen's Park Rangers, as ever, in their blue and white hoops. Wonderful noise at the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. And kickoff here is imminent in West London. In a week's time, Leicester will be just round the corner from here at Wembley for the Community Shield. But today it's all about championship opposition and looking for their first win and their first goal, perhaps, of this pre-season. Harvey Barnes then, not seen for some time since the end of February, and just to have him back in a Leicester shirt is a huge boost for the club, a huge boost for the player, Dean Hammond. And it's whatever happens this afternoon, that will be a major plus for Brendan Rodgers and indeed for the player and for the supporters.
100%. I think Harvey will be almost like a new signing, really. He'll be excited to be back. One thing, he needs to just play himself in slowly, take his time. It's his first game back after an injury. He's got to recover physically, but mentally as well, getting used to playing competitive football again. So really pleased to see him back. He's an exciting player. He brings so much to the team. So hopefully, getting minutes in today, maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour, can put him in good stead for the beginning of the season.
Jamie Vardy again wears the captain's armband. There are only now a few players who aren't available to Brendan Rodgers. Dennis Pratt, Timothy Castagna, James Justin, and the two goalkeepers, Danny Ward and Kasper Schmeichel. But apart from that, it is almost now a full complement as the two captains run away with the pendants. And we're almost ready for kickoff here. It's been a while since Leicester City have played against Queen's Park Rangers. It was in the Great Escape season when QPR went down. And as we know, Leicester survived, and the rest, as they say, is history. But Brendan Rodgers shaking hands there with his opposite number, one of the QPR coaching staff. Great respect for the West London club, and he'll know this is going to be a real test today. Well, the players take the knee before the action. £3 on a Saturday, football again. QPR get us up and running at the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. Another important test and almost a very, very early chance for Jamie Vardy. Well, there aren't supposed to be many nerves in pre-season, but maybe we saw just a few there at the back for Jordi de Vries and his goalkeeper. That would have been some start, Dean Hammond.
It certainly would have done. You know, the central defender couldn't wait to get rid of the ball really there. There's good pressure from Jamie like he always does, but yeah, slight nerves, which you don't usually get in pre-season, I must admit.
Seny Dieng, the Senegal international, walloping that one forward. Well, they've played 3-1-3 thus far, QPR, but almost had a very nasty moment there. They did concede early against Manchester United here 7 days ago. Jesse Lingard scored inside 3 minutes, but then they roared into a 4-1 lead and eventually won 4-2. Also, as I mentioned, they beat Cambridge and they beat Portsmouth. So in this part of the world, we are beginning to get very excited about what might happen in the Championship season as Bouba Soumaré gets his first real touch. Referee blows his whistle. QPR ball. And already you can tell this is going to be a really good workout for both teams.
Well, I think it'll be interesting, Chris. You know, it's a small pitch here, and you can see from the opening couple of minutes that Leicester are really trying to press QPR. QPR, footballing team, love possession of the football, try to move it around, rotate the ball, but Leicester are pressing high, so trying to win that ball back nice and early.
Exactly what they did there, and they have done so through a throw, which Ryan Bertrand will take, just his second appearance for Leicester, and he jinks his way beyond at least one Rangers player, and Soumaré is in there winning a challenge. And we talked about it at the team news, but Ndidi, Soumaré and Tielemans together in midfield today for Leicester for the first time. I'm sure it won't be for the last, and how they operate together is going to be fascinating.
It really is. That triangle in that centre of the midfield is really, really important. And it's interesting how they've lined up as well. Tielemans a little bit deeper, and Ndidi deeper, and Soumaré just playing the higher of the three. So, you know, that'll be interesting. Will they rotate that? Will they stick like that? But look, three very, very good players that have all got legs that can dictate a game.
Harvey Barnes there looking to nudge that forward to Jamie Vardy. No James Maddison in the squad today, by the way. Could see him most definitely playing where Bouba Soumaré is today as well, in terms of the options that Brendan Rodgers has.
I think that's what I would personally like to see Leicester play, that kind of number 10, just linking with Jamie Vardy, you know, being on the ball, whether that's Tielemans, was that Soumaré, was that James Maddison. I think there's lots and lots of options.
Here is Wesley Fofana. He's gone into central midfield now, and we know he's good enough on the ball to play there. That's Soumaré again, and he's looked for Jamie Vardy and he's found him. Now the flag has stayed down and Harvey Barnes is on the move. Well, it didn't lead to anything, but Soumaré and Vardy there were most definitely on the same wavelength.
Brilliant to see, you know, Soumaré getting on the half turn, seeing Jamie's movement early and playing a lovely through ball, not onto goal but into good space. So yeah, forward thinking. I really enjoyed that pass.
Here is Wilfred Ndidi back to Chalasonchu, and now one of the new arrivals in Ryan Bertrand. Tielemans being pressed. This might just be the first touch fouled in Jakubovic. Of course, after this, one more pre-season test if you like Villarreal. You can still get your tickets for that at King Power Stadium in midweek, and then a small matter of the Community Shield next weekend against Manchester City before that Premier League opener against Wolves in 2 weeks' time. There's Charlie Austin there. Big thumbs up for the pass, but couldn't get on the end of it.
Good movement from QPR, you know, playing the ball to feet, breaking through the midfield, getting the ball wide, and you know, Charlie Austin's very, very good at that. He holds the ball up well, you can bounce it off him, bring other players into play. Huge experience, so a good signing for QPR.
Yeah, back here permanently. Been busy in the transfer market. Been in the Championship now for some time, since that relegation, the year that Leicester did stay up. Here is Elias Chair. And they haven't lost any real gems in terms of Premier League clubs coming knocking, as they did a year ago when they lost Eddie Eze to Crystal Palace. Andre Dizelle. Slightly dangerous pass there, arrived from League One Ipswich. Played plenty of football there over the last 3 or 4 seasons, really, despite his young age. Harvey Barnes hurtled into a challenge. QPR ball. And very quickly they are set in their system. We heard Brendan Rodgers speaking about it, 3-4-1-2. Warburton has got his team well drilled. They've been on the ball probably for a couple of minutes here. Leicester being made to work hard, exactly what they would have wanted to happen. Sancho's in and win it. And Didi and Barnes not quite connecting there. And the Leicester fans sing about going to Wembley, and there's probably a couple of thousand here today. There should be the best part of 30,000 inside Wembley in a week, as Charlie Austin tried to lay that into chair, and it's Ricardo and Fofana who scrambled back to win it. Like a very confident team, QPR. You can see why they've played 3-1-3, but Tielemans has robbed the ball here, and Vardy's on the move. Yuri Tielemans. Well, in the end, the effort is cleared. First real chance of this pre-season friendly has fallen to Yuri Tielemans.
Really, really good pressing by Tielemans there. You know, anticipating the midfield player, trying to get on the half turn, breaking forward, trying to play Jamie Vardy. Good movement for him. Went on his own, just couldn't quite get that shot off, that clean strike. But good play by Tielemans.
Couple of occasions that Leicester have nicked the ball. Again, it's the way they're going to set up today, I think.
I think they're quite comfortable doing that as well, Chris. You know, they'll allow QPR to have the ball in these areas, and then when they got the opportunity, like Tielemans did, try and win the ball nice and quick and break with that pace, with that athleticism.
Ryan Bertrand is scampering there. There is Yuri Tielemans. Ricardo. A tight spot there. And here is Charlie Austin. New fans wanted him to shoot. Instead it's with Andre Dizelle. Very quick feet. Rangers fans like what they've seen of him so far, the new arrival, but Jose Perez will head that one away. Really good pace to this. Really good intensity as well. Precisely what both teams will have wanted at this stage of their respective pre-seasons. Fofana wins it cleanly. Charlie Austin just apologised, and if that's this time next week against Millwall, it's perhaps a more vociferous challenge from Charlie Austin.
Well, I think Fofana can afford to do that. You know, Charlie Austin is not going to spin him. You know, he hasn't got the pace to outrun him, so Fofana can get nice and tight to him like he did there and try and win the ball back off him early, because Charlie Austin is, like we mentioned, is so good at bringing other players into the game.
There's Perez. Enjoying these touches and minutes. Vardy round the corner looking for Perez, and Sonny Dieng was quickly to the edge of his area there, did well.
But good play by Leicester, you know, bouncing the ball, 1-2, movement off the ball, that's always key. If you can go into your forward, you get runners off him like Perez did there, just a little bit more quality from Jamie and Perez would have been in.
Got an absolute bird's eye view here at Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. The most talkative player on the Leicester side is definitely Yuri Tielemans out there, almost telling everyone exactly what he wants them to do. Game 3 for Brendan Rodgers, and this is the end of an excellent training camp down in Surrey, Penny Hill Park. able to get some really good minutes on the pitch, and also that camaraderie in the group. Perez there now. Is that a corner kick? The referee and officials, I'm not sure they absolutely knew, but they have given it Leicester's way.
Again, it's good pressing by Leicester, and Jamie Vardy starts it off, presses the keeper. Keeper tries to be a little bit too clever, and Leicester win a free kick and then attacking in a dangerous area. Sorry, a corner kick.
First set piece. First corner kick, and Yuri Tielemans back in the team and back on the corner kick duties. Delivery is over everybody actually, and the vice here is going to keep it in play, and he's got some runners ahead of him. Test here for Ryan Bertrand, and then he gets it back to Jakubovic, who is charged down, and Wesley Fofana does superbly well. That was a dangerous moment, but Wesley Fofana ensured it's a comfortable end.
Well, it's great pressing by the QPR player, and just tried to take too much time, tried to find that pass when probably a clearance would have done, but brilliant by Fofana, and reacted to it, anticipated winning the ball back for Leicester and gaining possession.
He won that very much like Ndidi or Tielemans would have done in central midfield as well.
I think he's that good a player, Chris. He probably could play centre midfield. So, reacted really well. He's a top player. He really is. And I think every time I see him, I know it's only pre-season, I think he gets better and better.
Well, this is that foul there, which has given Leicester City the free kick. That with Sonchu and Tielemans. Now Ryan Bertrand, Brendan Rodgers saying he is Premier League ready, and we know that. And also, he's talking about the adaptation that Soumare and Patson Daka are going through and will continue to go through as the months go on. And here is the young Frenchman. Again, he finds Jamie Vardy. Again, he's happy to powerfully go beyond at least one. Sonchu again. Seen in the opening 12 minutes though why Queen's Park Rangers fans are excited for the new campaign.
I can see where, really comfortable on the ball. Every player wants possession. The one thing's impressive is their movement off the ball. The player on the ball has always got options, always players available, and the rotation is very, very impressive.
7th straight season for QPR in the second tier. Mark Warburton took over in May of 2019, worked with Brendan Rodgers at Watford earlier on in their respective careers. You always know the type of football you're going to get with him, and most definitely it's fair to say he and Brendan Rodgers share the same view on how the game should be played. Flag was up there. Yuri Tielemans and Leicester probably hoped that it didn't go up, and would have had the ball in a good position, but here is Ricardo. Spoken about him too much in the last couple of games, but is it an important pre-season for Ricardo, particularly after came back from that long spell out at the back end of last campaign?
Yeah, it really is, and I think that's probably where Harvey Barnes has got an advantage, that he's recovering and got the chance to have a pre-season. It's so important. We know Ricardo, what a player he is, what he brings to the team. I think if you just have a really good pre-season, stay injury-free, I think that's really important. His performances don't have to be too impressive, but if he can keep conditioning, keep improving that conditioning, and get through pre-season, then he'll have a strong season.
Competition at full-back now is immense, really, right and left back.
It really is. James Justin as well, the season he was having before his injury, and to get him back at some point, the competition is immense, and that's what you want. That's how you become a successful team. Players push themselves every day in training, knowing they've got to perform to keep their place.
There is Bouba Soumare in a very impressive opening 14 minutes. Jakubovic has a little longer there to clear, and does. Straight onto the head of Lee Wallace. Whistle goes the way of Queen's Park Rangers, and could be a chance to put this in the box if they wanted to. Chair and Dazelle are the two Rangers players over this. First aerial test for Leicester's defence here, and It's a good ball, and Jakubovic punches that very successfully, and I think he caught Chalasoanchu.
Yeah, I think just there, if you see the replay, as he's come to punch it, he's kind of slipped and stuttered and just come through Soanchu there. If you just see it there, it's a good clearance, but it's just stuttered and just come through him. But look, that's what you want from your goalkeeper, to be demanding, to be aggressive, and unfortunately Soanchu's just got in the way.
He's hauled to his feet, and those Leicester fans behind that goal delighted to see him back to his feet. Of course, on Wednesday we did see that unfortunate injury for Tanawat Sungchitawan, a twisted ankle. Brendan Rodgers won't want to lose anybody else for any period of time in pre-season. Now the punch put it out of play for a throw, and QPR are still on the attack, and Ryan Bertrand has given away a set piece here, and this will be another test.
Yeah, a little bit naive there from Ryan. You know, all the experience he's got, he's just got a little bit too close, hands on the QPR player, so just needed to hold him up there. He was only ever going to go backwards, so don't really want to be giving cheap free kicks like that away.
Chris Willock it was that he fouled. Andre Dizelle and Chair again are the two options. Great support for Leicester behind that goal, by the way. The majority in the top tier of the school end. Chair again looks up, sees Charlie Austin, sees plenty to aim for. And it's Jose Perez who heads that away. And a vicious strike.
Yeah, good defending from Leicester, winning the first connection, winning that first ball, and you know, just dropping nicely. And you know, you see that coming to the edge of the box, your eyes light up. You know, he's had a lot of time to think about it. Good connection, just couldn't quite get it on target.
Lee Wallace it was. Rangers captain. I'm pleased that you said that as a former player at the old. Eyes suddenly widening and think, this is my moment.
I used to think it all the time, Chris, but mine never even got that close, I don't think.
You do yourself a disservice. Perez, again Andre Dizelle. A very busy central midfielder. He first broke into the Ipswich team as a teenager.
He looks a good player, Chris. You know, he's got a lot to live up to. You know, his dad was a very, very good player.
Certainly was.
But no, he looks busy, he looks tidy on the ball, and for a young player, looks very, very confident as well.
Dad Jason, who started at Ipswich too, and great career at Tottenham amongst some other sides. He's actually quit his job as Ipswich under-18 coach to watch Andre and to come here as much as he can.
Do you know what? That's a brilliant thing. If you can do that as a father, you know, to come and watch your son and enjoy football. Well, whether you can enjoy watching your son, I'm not sure. Put a few nerves there, but no, he looks like a good player. He really does.
Goalless opening 18 minutes. One real chance. An effort from Yuri Tielemans. Very good challenge. Pre-season or not, the referee wants this throw and taken exactly where it went out of play. So we haven't spoken about it yet, but actually speak to referees, and it's important pre-season games for them as well. They can't suddenly go into a Premier League or a Championship game having not officiated for 2 or 3 months.
It's a great point, Chris. Do you know what? I've never even considered that myself.
You players, you never consider the referees.
But look, it really is important, because when the season starts and the decisions really, really matter, you want them to be up to speed as well. So look, it's good that he's doing everything right and getting himself fit.
There's Fafana. Perez rather headed that one up into the sky. Tielemans again. Vardy was on the move out of your picture. Now Wilfred Ndidi. Not seen too much yet of Harvey Barnes, but he and Ryan Bertrand link up beautifully, and Harvey Barnes in full flight. What a sight that is. And how Leicester fans have missed it. Perez's cross. Vardy didn't quite keep that in play, but that's the first real moment for Harvey Barnes.
It is, and I was just thinking about, you know, Harvey's not really got into the game, probably hadn't even touched the ball, but you see that the first time it comes in, bounces it into Ryan and then goes. Explodes with the ball, really quick the ball. You know he's always looking to get his shot off, gets a good ball to Perez, and you know the cross is just over hit, but you know Harvey Barnes in full flow is a pleasure to see and pleasure to watch. 13
goals and of course his full England debut last season before injury so cruelly cut short this campaign. Here is Chair, and he's got plenty in support here. QPR really threatening. A very good block from Soinchu. Perez might just have fouled. He has. Well, that was QPR on the counter-attack. Here they go again with Willock. Willock will go for goal, and Jakubovic has to make his first real stop of the afternoon.
Impressive to see from QPR. You know, they're very, very brave. They're leaving 2 up the pitch. And when Leicester are attacking or trying to press QPR to win the ball back, they're still a threat. So good defending by Soinchu. It really, really was. But you know, they break at pace. They, you know, with the younger players they've got on the team, and they're very, very brave on the ball.
Now Wallace. Searching ball. Ryan Bertrand watched that all the way and very, very calmly heads it straight to Harvey Barnes. Fafana. Amazing to think that he's not played at the full King Power Stadium yet. Hopefully not too far away. Tielemans won that, and Harvey Barnes was almost onto it. Dazelle. Very crisp, every single QPR pass. Andre Dazelle again, and home fans like what they are seeing from not just Andre Dazelle, but the entire R side in this opening 23 minutes. Strong challenge, referee lets the game go, they're in behind here. And it was Soinchu in the way once more. Dazelle again. Now Willock. Kick the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper. Jamie Vardy sniffed out half a chance, and they won't mind that. And as if to just show how on it QPR there, about 3 or 4 players looked to the goalkeeper and said, "What was that?" He gave the ball away, but they are nothing wrong with demanding teammates.
No, they're having a really, really good period. You know, you mentioned there, Chris, they moved the ball so well. You know, really, really, like I mentioned it, good rotation. And you know, Wallace getting in, he was too strong for Ricardo, and then just a little bit indecisive. Do I cross? Do I shoot? But you know, good position, and Leicester need to be a little bit aware of that. I think QPR, you can see they're a little bit fitter at the moment.
Perez, he decided to go for Vardy, and Harvey Barnes on the Leicester left really wanted the ball there. Easy Perez, one of those playing his first minutes in pre-season. Wilfred Ndidi putting Rangers defender on the floor there. On ball. Rob Dickie there turned and decided to take on Harvey Barnes, and I think quite quickly realised that he was not going to outpace him. Willock's done well against Soinchu. Austin is offside.
The really impressive.
Willock is saying he was fouled. Sorry, Tim.
No, sorry, Chris. The really impressive thing with QPR is that they're really good in one-on-one situations, whether it's with the ball, without the ball. You know, they receive the ball, they're willing to move their body, move the ball, get away from a Leicester player, receive the ball under pressure. Really, really impressive.
On the ball again, and Wallace. Here is Chair. Trying to trick his way beyond Yuri Tielemans. He's hung up a very good ball, and again it was Sontchuk. 2 or 3 occasions now he has been in the right place at the right time.
He really has, and you know, it's a really good workout for him, a good exercise. That was a brilliant header because it was a great cross, you know, into a dangerous area in the box, and just gets a really telling head on it. And indeed, he picks up the second ball. So, you know, QPR are the dominant team, but this is a good exercise for Leicester and having to defend and stay within a game when the opposition are having a really good period.
Saw the replay there of that foul by Andre Dezelle. That would have been a yellow card in a week's time for him.
That's one blessing of pre-season. I always love that. You could have 2 or 3 fouls.
Yeah, don't get sent off in pre-season though, because you can miss some of the campaign now, of course. There's Harvey Barnes. Sumari back to Sontchuk. You always know in a pre-season game if a player's slightly gone over the top as well, because they get it in the neck from the opposition team. And Sumari, he's picked out the run there, and Vardy's onto it. Jamie Vardy drags his shot wide. Golden chance for him. What a ball that was from Bubu Sumari. I think he might have been actually trying to play in Ricardo.
I think he was. It's a good run by Ricardo, and Sumari, you know, he spots the run, but it falls to Jamie. It's a brilliant header to set himself, and in that situation, you fancy Jamie to at least hit the target, but that's what pre-season is. You know, it's fine-tuning your performance, fine-tuning your finishing. But again, Leicester have been able to go back to front with a quality pass within 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, Sumari's range of passing on show here in the opening 27 minutes. Ricardo wins that header. That's something they will have worked on. Ricardo making that run.
I think 100%. You know, it would have worked on in training, usually around mannequins, Chris. You know, you do it unopposed, so you can really work on the movement. But you know, Ricardo's going to make that movement. He's fit and strong. He's a forward-thinking player. And Jamie, you know, and Sumari would have been introduced to the movements. That's what it would have been doing. This is how we play at Leicester. This is how these type of players move, and he's picked up on that very quickly.
Ricardo back to the day job. Wants an option. Picked a lovely pass into Sumari. Touch was perfect. Barnes ahead of him. Here is Harvey Barnes. Tielemans. Back to Sumari. Barnes again. Harvey Barnes will shoot. Really good shot and a smart save. But Harvey Barnes on his return to football is looking sharp.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you want to see from Harvey. You know, he was very patient. When he first received the ball, he wanted to take the player on but didn't. Played 1 or 2 passes, got into that position again, and you know, a lovely strike. That's where Harvey's dangerous, on that left-hand side, cutting in and having a strike at goal.
And prior to his injury in February, his finishing was, we heard a lot from Jerry Taggart and Matt Elliott and yourself, Dean, that part of his game has improved so much.
It really has, and that will come from the training ground. Confidence at playing at this level, but willingness to try it 2 or 3 times a game.
And Barnes again, this time he crosses. And we were just giving the big one about how he is so good at shooting, and of course he decided to cross there, but he's becoming an increasing influence on the game. He is indeed. Ricardo. Perez, good spell this from Leicester. It's QPR who are having to stand firm.
Well, they're just stepping up the pace, stepping up the quality here, Leicester, you know, getting into QPR's box on more occasions, just with some nice passing possession, good movement, and especially through Harvey Barnes.
Yes, indeed. Comes back to the Leicester midfielder shrugs off one challenge, but Willock has picked his pocket, and he's got Austin and Chair in support. Willock, Wilfred Ndidi runs back and wins the ball back.
Yeah.
He might pinch it one often, but not twice.
Great recovery from him, got caught in possession. That happens as a midfield player. He was trying to do the right thing, but good reaction, good recovery from him, and wins the ball back, and now Leicester on the attack.
Soumare it was with the lovely pass, and Tielemans has released Jamie Vardy, and that's a very good piece of goalkeeping. But Leicester's midfield three there, all involved, and Ndidi, Tielemans, Soumare.
It's exactly what we talked about, those three combining. A brilliant pass by Tielemans, good movement by Jamie again, and just a pass just a little bit overhead hit, all compliments to the goalkeeper. A really good reaction, but Jamie was almost in, and that's probably the third time this half.
Seny Dieng did really well, because had he misjudged that, it would have at worst been a free kick, and who knows, maybe a red card in a normal game, but Vardy could easily have scored. But here is Perez, and Leicester are having their best spell. Perhaps their best spell of pre-season so far, actually, in the last 5-10 minutes. As you would expect, as they continue to warm up for the new campaign. Dizelle and QPR just slowing the pace down, as if they just want to get a bit of that control back and have a spell on the ball again.
That's what they want to do. They'll try and regain that control, because the last 5 minutes has all been Leicester. So they'll try and keep possession and try and play themselves back in again.
Lovely move this, Willock. He's picked out Chair. Urged to shoot, and he fires it into the Leicester City supporters in the school end.
Well, it was good play by QPR, because they kept possession in nice slow action, and then a 1-2 quick passes, switch of play, and then Chair gets that opportunity to shoot. Maybe could have gone wide to slip the full-back in, but in that position, your creative players, you want them to try and take the shots on.
Fofana whizzed by this opening 32 minutes. And Ricardo now picks out Soumare. Bertrand. Dizelle to Willock. And it's a little tug there from Yuri Tielemans, I think. Those that might just have been a yellow card in the Premier League in a couple of weeks' time. Ndidi steps in and wins it. Very good test this for Leicester against a team who are very, very comfortable on the ball. As I mentioned, this is QPR's final pre-season match. Tielemans, glorious pass in the sunshine to Harvey Barnes. Two of those back today, and Barnes, he was fouled there. Referee's playing on. Ricardo looks for Vardy. Bertrand, dangerous game that the QPR number 22 Moses Sodibaju is playing, but in the end the decision goes his way, and I'm not sure Ryan Bertrand agrees with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a foul, but QPR player got lucky there, tried to keep the ball in, but it's good for Harvey Barnes there, getting some contact. A few fouls on him will help his confidence in a strange way, that to know that his body can suffer that again, so good for him to be involved in the game.
I was going to ask that. Does he need to, hear about players talking about conditioning their body, that's all part of it, right?
Well, it definitely is, and physically and mentally, Chris. You've got to be able to be confident enough that you can take those hits. So with, Harvey running with the ball, he's going to get contact of him when he's in full flow, and it's good for him to feel that again, it really is.
Referee's playing on here again, and Dizelle picks it up. Playing with a lot of men forward, Queen's Park Rangers. A couple of occasions, one forward ball, I should say, and Leicester have almost had 3-on-3.
Well, they're leaving 2 up. You know, the 2 wide players and chairs rotating in the kind of the number 10. The 2 midfield players are dictating the ball. But that's what I mentioned, where they're being brave. They're willing to defend in less numbers, so when the ball overturns, they can break very, very quickly.
Comes in the training ground, comes from that man, Mark Warburton. Did a fabulous job at Brentford earlier on in his career. One of QPR's great rivals. As I mentioned, worked with Brendan Rodgers when they were both at Watford. Plenty of mutual respect, and both will be enjoying the test that their respective sides are having thus far. And here is Harvey Barnes again, up against Odubaju. Ryan Bertrand for company. Back towards Barnes. He's been back in training for a while, and it looks that way as well. Harvey Barnes doesn't look like a player who's not played for Leicester since the 28th of February, which is great to see.
No, he's just getting that sharpness back. You can see that in his play. And it's good to see him and Ryan, you know, combining together, building that relationship for the season, because that's really, really important as a pair, understanding whether Harvey wants it wide, whether he's going to run inside, and the same with Ryan. So it's good to see them playing together.
Ricardo feeds Bouba Soumaré. Who now, by the way, at the start of the game we talked about him being the furthest forward of the midfield 3. Well, just for a while there he was the furthest back of the midfield trio alongside Tielemans and Ndidi.
Yeah, they've been changing and interchanging during the game, whether it's, you know, Tielemans going as that number 10, or you know, Wilfred and Ndidi will always be the deepest player usually, but they can rotate.
Here's Willock, weaving his way inside the box. Wallace, again it's Soyuncu. 4 occasions now the ball has almost been drawn to him. Fofana, strong tackle, and then brilliant feet, draws the foul. Terrific centre-back play.
It really is an impressive thing, you know, the turn of his feet, he wins the first tackle, and then to get across the ground to win the ball back. Good experience, sees the QPR player coming, gets his body in the way, but really, really good defending. And Soyuncu as well, his position in the box for crosses, very impressive.
Johnny Evans not involved again today. I think we might see young Ben Nelson get his chance again at some stage in the second half. What a ball that is from Soyuncu to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes again in a good position, and that is going to be a foul, but he's starting to cause big problems.
He is, and it's a brilliant diagonal pass to Harvey, and you know, one-on-one with a central defender, you would really fancy Harvey there, but good defending from the QPR defender. But you know, Harvey's getting more and more on the ball in great areas as well, so as his fitness comes, as his sharpness improves, there you'd really think he would get a shot off at goal.
Now, just to the right of where the QPR goalkeeper's about to clatter this forward are the Leicester subs, many of whom we will see in the second period at some stage. Kelechi Iheanacho there. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, expect to see him given another chance in the first team, and Daniel Amati as well. Brendan Rodgers will have a plan as to who needs what. Busy old time it must be for coaching staff at this stage of the season. It's a very good tackle again from Wesley Fofana. He now has a bit of a problem and decides just to put it out of play. Wallace. Ball. Approaching the final 5 minutes of this first half. Game 3 of Leicester's pre-season. Started at Burton, took in Wickham. Here we are at QPR. Villarreal to come at home. Worked that beautifully. Rob Dickey has won a throw-in over there. And Willock. Seen plenty of the ball, and he's won his side of corner there.
He's a winning runner, Willock. You know, he's got into some good areas, stretched the Leicester defence today, and wins another corner for QPR. What's that, third one of the half? So they'll be looking to not win the first contact. Leicester have defended them pretty well so far.
Andre Dazelle is going to take this. It'll be an in-swinger. Leicester City have everybody back. Dazelle, it's a good delivery, and it was Ricardo. Wallace fancied another shot. Perez ensured he doesn't get it, and there might be a chance to break now because Wilfred Ndidi puts those long legs into a challenge, and more often than not he comes away with the ball.
Again, he's so good at that, and a lot of the time it goes unnoticed. It really does. It's a brilliant part of his game, and does that so well to win the ball back for Leicester. Now they've got possession, now they can build up play, but so effective in that role.
Ricardo. I think it was Jerry Taggart who was on commentary with last season who made the point that it's almost the first Leicester player he's seen who can tackle from 360, because I know what he means. He sometimes goes in from angles you think he'll never get the ball, and then he does.
It's an art, it really is with Wilfred, you know. It's those long legs, but a brilliant play, he really is. And I think he's, again, another player that's improving all the time.
Andre Dazelle was never going to get a free kick there. Ricardo, the bomb forward. Good challenge, but Leicester ball.
Really good from Ricardo, though. That's what we like to see, you know, breaking down that right wing, breaking forward, committing with the ball, and the wins. Leicester have thrown in a strong area.
Yeah, and Barbe there with the challenge. Tielemans twizzles away from Dazelle. Lovely touch again from Soumare. Tielemans and Ndidi, midfield trio have worked very nicely in this first half. Soumare didn't quite know where Charlie Austin was. Now Perez. And it's QPR ball. He defended that well.
Yeah, they did. You know, Perez looks like he shows a little bit. This is his first pre-season game, and that's normal. You know, he'll take a little bit more time than the rest. It's his first pre-season game, so just needs to find that sharpness, which will come in the training and the additional pre-season games.
Sancho clears that one. Don't think it went over the stand. It's one of those grounds packed in around housing. There must be a few balls over the season that go in someone's back garden. Big header there from Sancho. Dickey picks out Odibaju. And here is Willock. Chair, no centre of gravity, gets it back to Willock. Oh, lovely move. And they're in behind again, and Charlie Austin scores. A rocket of a finish. And on half-time, it's QPR in strike first. Brilliant goal from Charlie Austin.
I mean, it's really good play by QPR from Chair, from Willock. Again, we talked about that movement off the ball, and then it comes to Charlie Austin in the box. You know, he's a predator. He's a really good finisher. It's his first chance, 1 out of 1. It's a brilliant finish. It really is into that top corner, but, you know, really composed play by QPR. Is there a lot Leicester could have done about it? And maybe a little bit of ball watching, but I think you've got to credit QPR. It's a really good goal.
Well, that is why they love him round here. Give him a chance, and he normally finishes it. Well, they beat Man United here, and now they lead Leicester. in what is increasingly turning out to be a very impressive pre-season for Queen's Park Rangers. One added minute. Tielemans is keeping the QPR player honest. Olu Badju, that was a horrible bounce, and it's fallen Queen's Park Rangers' way. Here is Willock. Wilfred indeed, he slides into the challenge, and that is half-time. And QPR roared off here. Impressive display from them, capped with a very late goal from Charlie Austin. Leicester with a couple of half chances. Really good work out this against the Championship team a week ahead in their pre-season schedule. And QPR looking to make it 4 wins from 4 in pre-season. Walk off ahead. Join us after the break. We'll go through the best of the first half chances. But at half-time in West London, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Leicester City 0.
Because memories never fade, no matter how long. We'll still remember the moments of excitement and the impressions of Thailand. Amazing Thailand, now even more amazing.
Biết Sài Gòn.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey, taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Welcome back to the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium. Half-time of this pre-season friendly, and Leicester trail against Championship Queen's Park Rangers by 1-0. Dean Hammond, the former Foxes, alongside myself, Chris Parrott, and we'll get straight into it. The strike from Charlie Austin was very impressive to give QPR the lead.
It really was. It's a fantastic finisher. We know the quality of Charlie Austin. It's really, really good play by QPR. They're patient in possession. A great 1-2, good combination, and Chair shows good composure here, but you look at Charlie's move and he comes off the Leicester defender, just composes himself, and it's a brilliant finish. It really is. There's not a lot the keeper can do about it. but that shows his quality and why he's in the team and why they've spent so much money on him to bring into the club.
Well, that was about 2 minutes just shy of the half-hour mark, but we saw that type of movement and lovely football from Queen's Park Rangers early on in the first half as well. They had some good early opportunities too. Yeah,
and you can see why the fans are so excited with the team. Like I say, they're comfortable on the ball, they're brave, they're very attacking, they don't mind taking a shot on, as you can see there, and the players are all technically very good. You can see that there'll be a lot of hard work going in at the training ground from the manager, and I can see them having a very, very good season and being one of the favourites for the championship. Again, it's the movement off the ball that's so impressive. The combination, you know, Wallace is in here, doesn't know whether to shoot or cross, kind of hesitates, but it's the willingness, it's the determination, just a bit stronger, and they've been very, very impressive.
They are a week ahead of Leicester in their pre-season preparations. This is their final match ahead of their championship opener with Millwall. At this stage of a pre-season, how big a difference is 1 week of training, 1 week of, you know, fine-tuning things ahead of the new campaign?
It doesn't seem a lot, Chris, but it does make a real difference. You know, a week in pre-season is a lot. I mentioned it on Wednesday. QPR will be doing different types of training now, where Leicester will still be doing conditioning work as well as playing games, and QPR will be more of a preparation mode. They'll be doing different types of training, so bringing that into the game can affect your legs. But I've been impressed with both teams. You know, Leicester have had their moments as well, and I think Brendan will be happy with those moments. He won a little bit of an improvement, but I think they're coming along nicely.
Well, here they are. Bouba Soumaré has had a really good game in midfield, and that pass there, we think it was meant for Ricardo, but we can watch it again. It's an absolute beaut, and it ends with a great opportunity for Jamie Vardy.
It does, and Soumaré's done that a couple of times now. He's put Jamie in, he's looked forward, whether it's been in that deeper role or the number 10 role, the more advanced of the midfield, and Jamie gets in with a lovely cushion header, and, you know, maybe could have done a little bit better, but that's the fine-tuning of pre-season.
Harvey Barnes there with that effort, his first 45 minutes since February. How impressed have you been with Harvey?
Well, he's definitely grown into the game. You know, he probably took 10-15 minutes to get his first touch, but when he did, you know, he's driven forward, as you can see there. If he gets that half chance, if he gets himself in front of goal, he's confident, and it's a very, very good strike. And, you know, seeing Harvey playing and in full flow is very impressive. Now,
this opportunity for Jamie Vardy, very good goalkeeping. It arrived after all three of the midfielders, Yuri Tielemans and Soumaré, combining. Just how exciting was that little moment as a former midfielder, because it almost led to the opening goal.
Well, that's what we talked about, the three in midfield, that triangle, where they can all play in different positions of that triangle and that rotation, but they've all looked forward. You know, Tielemans, we know he's got that in his locker with that pass and the movement of Jamie. So them three, you know, there's been good moments, like I mentioned before, some good combinations. So I think that triangle will grow as the season develops.
And we can't wait to see exactly what it brings. Well, at half-time, the first player onto the pitch, hoping to get on in the second period, we will see him at some stage, was Mark Albrighton. Whether we see him immediately after half-time or whether it's on 60 minutes, we're not so sure. But one thing we do know, Dean, is that he is staying as a Fox. He's just signed a new deal. By the end of it, he will have had 10 years of service to Leicester City Football Club. He's won the Premier League. He scored the club's first ever goal in the Champions League. He's an FA Cup winner as well. And we can hear from Mark Albrighton speaking after signing that new deal.
Congratulations on the new deal. How are you feeling?
Yeah, delighted. Obviously a club that's progressing every single year. It's fantastic club. The people here and just where the club's going, the direction that they're going in, it's great to be a part of. You're
now entering your 8th season with the club. Could you have imagined that when you first joined, if you're honest?
No, definitely not. Obviously, it's I have always been the type of person and player that wants to establish himself at a club and stay there instead of flitting between different clubs and travelling to different places. So yeah, I've settled in here and yeah, it's great and I'm really enjoying it.
You mentioned the fact that the club is growing and obviously the squad is getting better and better pretty much each season. Do you feel that around you? Can you feel the quality input and obviously the fact that there's the new training ground must just add to all of that?
Yeah, I think all areas there's just improvement. I think obviously on the pitch, the players that we're recruiting now they're incredible players, and they're taking us in the right direction on the pitch, and then everything off the pitch is like you mentioned, the training ground and the facilities that we've got now is some of the best in the world. So if we're going to keep improving and keep heading in that way, there's no limit for this football club.
How much of an impact has Brendan Rodgers had on your decision to extend your deal, and how good has it been working under Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah, I've said to people since he's came in, he's the best manager that I've worked for. His attention to detail is absolutely incredible, and something I've never seen anything like before. All the lads would say the same. Is the both sides to his management, whether it's the coaching side or the man management side, is spot on with both. So yeah, it's great to have him at the helm, and I think under him we've already showed last year, we can go and win trophies, and hopefully there's going to be more where that came from.
How big a moment was that at the end of last season, winning that FA Cup, obviously the elusive FA Cup for Leicester City? Yeah,
brilliant. It's obviously a cup that's obviously everyone knows about the FA Cup, but I think with English players and obviously the fans, it's just that cup that's so special in the English game. It's a cup that people dream of winning, and we managed to go all the way and to do it in the style that we did. Absolutely fantastic, and a day we'll never forget again.
Where does it rank in your career, in your moments with Leicester City, do you think?
Yeah, it's right up there. Obviously with the Premier League win, the Champions League run. Yeah, it's been a good time, a bit of a roller coaster. But yeah, it's right up there with that. Obviously, you dream of winning trophies as a football player, and when I first signed for Leicester, I don't think I could have ever imagined winning the Premier League and the FA Cup with them, with all due respect. But obviously to do so, it's incredible. It's been brilliant.
You can see the smile on your face. You can see how happy you are here. You must very much feel like you're at home.
I do, yeah. It's a club, like I said earlier, that I've really settled into. Got a good relationship with the fans. The people here are great, whether it's the staff around the training ground, the stadium, or the players, the management, coaching staff. Just really enjoy coming to work every day at the training ground, and I like coming in and working hard and feeling like I've done something in that day, and to be doing it at the level that we are competing at is a dream for me.
And I'm sure you'll say it yourself that because you've extended your stay, you don't want what happened last season in the FA Cup and what happened with the Premier League to be the pinnacles. You obviously want to continue making great memories and great moments with this football club. Yeah,
I think obviously when you experience something like that, obviously we experienced the Premier League and that win, and it gives you an extra drive to go forward and win more and achieve more. The same will be this time round as well. Obviously, we've got a different set of lads, a different squad that have gone on to win the FA Cup, and that will give them more hunger and drive to go and win more trophies. And I think with that extra drive and that extra hunger, that's something that we can certainly achieve. And I think there's still so much more to come out of this squad. Obviously, like I said earlier, we're adding bodies constantly, and they're just improving the squad. So yeah, I just think there's so much more to come and so much more progression, and everybody's doing the right things to make that happen.
Great to hear from Mark Albrighton following the signing of his new contract. Dan Bates with the questions. Dean Hammond alongside myself, Chris Parrott. Now, you were at the club, right, when Mark arrived. What was he like when he first came through the door? And I mean, if you told him then what he was going to do in his Leicester career, I'm sure he would never have believed you.
No, I wouldn't have believed it either. You know, when Mark first arrived, I knew about it before anyone else because we had the same agent.
Okay.
So, you know, Mark came reasonably quiet, but we knew of him. Obviously, been a Premier League player at Aston Villa, and just a nice guy. Really worked hard, a really top professional, and he's just had a brilliant career. And you just mentioned there, you know, at the end of his contract, taking him through to 10 years, which is amazing. Winning the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, the Champions League, first ever goal for the club. He'll be remembered for that, but a really nice guy, humble, works hard, and do you know what? A top player as well.
We saw last season how Brendan Rodgers utilised him and the amount of different positions he has played in. You would normally think of him maybe as a right winger, but you think right wing back, left wing back. He's played in almost everywhere on the pitch, it seems, at some stage, as we see the players heading out for the second half. But that versatility could be massive again for Leicester this season.
And that's the word, you know, versatility. He can play in a number of positions and he'll do a very, very good job. And you're guaranteed a 7 out of 10 from Mark, at least every week. You might get an 8, you might get a 9, but you'll always get a 7. You know, a top player, and I think that's why the club has signed him up for another 3 years, because he'd be so important with the experience and for the squad.
Well, he is coming on. Massive smile on his face, as normal. Mark Albrighton is replacing Harvey Barnes ahead of this second half. No surprise, really, that Harvey just had 45 minutes. And that will be hugely important for him personally. And now Mark Albrighton comes on and looks like he's going to go on to the left of the front three. And I think that is going to be the only change for Leicester City. We are expecting maybe 8 or 9 on the 60-minute mark, but we talked about the step up in preparation today. Well, this is evidence of it, because now the likes of Vardy and Ndidi and Fofana are going to get more than 45 minutes under their belts for the first time. Lyndon Dykes has come on for Queen's Park Rangers, and he's going to partner Charlie Austin, the only goal scorer in this match thus far. It's a pretty good championship strike force, Dykes and Austin, for the new season. It's going to be Jamie Vardy to get us back underway. Leicester trailing by 1-0. Very competitive first half. I'm sure the second will be just as watchable as Ricardo immediately crosses the halfway line. Now Ryan Bertrand back to Sontju, and the first touch in the second half for Jakupovic. One good save he had to make in the first half. He could do absolutely nothing about the goal. There was Albrighton's first involvement. I like the fact you had the know-how, because you shared an agent as well, Dean, that you knew he was coming.
Yeah, I know. I should have put a bet on it already.
That's wonderful football from Sontju. He's had to go again, and he wasn't fouled, said the referee. Just wonder, actually, Dean, in that instance, if you know someone might be coming, would they ever ring you and say, what's it like? Yeah. Should I come, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, if you knew the player, that happens regularly. You know, people want to know, you know, what the dressing room's like, what's the training like, what's the club like, how's the manager, what is the club like. I think that's really sensible for a player to do that. So that's very, you know, that happens a lot, whether it's agent to player, whether it's player to player, whether it's player to coach. And I think vice versa. I think clubs do a lot of due diligence on their players as well, you know, because players has to be the right player you bring to the football club.
Here is Austin and Dykes combining for the first time, and Wesley Fofana. Some in the QPR end thought that should have been a penalty there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a penalty. I think just Fofana's very, very strong, competitive, and yeah, just a fair 50-50 tackle, really, challenge. Touch from Chair, who is still on. So he's going to be playing behind those two. Willocks
picked a lovely pass out. I think I'm right in saying it's Andre Dizelle who has made way for Lyndon Dykes, and they're a very good footballing team, as we saw and know, Queen's Park Rangers, but it's interesting to have plenty of clever players like Chair, and now two out-and-out big centre forwards on the pitch, and Sancho and Co are going to have a real challenge on their hands this afternoon.
Well, it's a test, it really is. It's a big test. QPR again have come out on the front foot, and I think a little bit of a change of formation, may have gone to 3-5-2 with the two central strikers up front, so a brilliant test for Fofana and Sancho.
And the first corner here, which Chair is going to take. Delivery was good and Fofana was up. Back with Willock here. Chair. QPR started the first half well, they've begun the second on the front foot, and Ricardo and Perez stopped Elias Chair, but only at the expense of a corner.
He's a handful, Chris, he really is. You know, Chair, he's very impressive on the ball. Likes to take people on, and he's very, very bright.
Taken this one short, and it was a very good opportunity, but
he did it as well, because there's really good cross. Well, I thought Chair might actually shoot, take that on, but it's a good delivery and it's a great header.
Yuri Tielemans just whacking that one forward. No precision in that pass. He knew what he needed to do, and Vardy, well, he almost won that ball in a very good position. Sancho up against Dykes. Both, of course, played at the European Championships. Both exited in the group stage for Turkey and Scotland, respectively. Willock. Not many get the wrong side of Wilfred Ndidi, but Chris Willock's had a brilliant afternoon, and it's another set piece for Rangers.
Again, another player that's impressed with Willock. You know, he's come inside that time, and you're right, not many people get away from Wilfred Ndidi. So, you know, QPR on top, and they've probably just taken advantage of that extra week of training they've had, and it's shown a little bit here.
Because, well, that final pre-season game, you really want to go out, I imagine, particularly in front of your home supporters, and put on a show. Send them away happy, and they might just have won another corner here. I didn't think he was going to keep it in play, didn't need to.
Well, it's your home supporters, and it's against the Premier League team.
Yeah.
You know, the FA Cup winners, you always up your game, you always try and impress. So that's a difficult side for Leicester, and, you know, credit to QPR, but like we mentioned at half-time, Leicester have had their moments, just need to stay in the game. There's lessons to be learned from this, and still a long time left.
Again, Chair is going to take this, and he has a lot to aim for. Delivery again is onto Wesley Fofana's head. And Wallace, not for the first time, fancied his chances from the edge of the box, and not for the first time the shot goes well wide.
Yeah, he seems to hold that position on the edge of the box from corners, and, you know, just couldn't quite get out of his feet to get a clean shot, but you can see the intention, and you're rightly so. It's the second time this game.
Sancho got that ball to Ryan Bertrand. And back to Akupovic now. Here is Wallace. Interesting always to see how opposition tee up games in both QPR and Leicester, and Burton, I think, have talked about hosting the FA Cup holders, and Leicester now are a big fish that teams want to beat, and particularly in pre-season. Now here is Tielemans. Brighton took that one quickly and neatly and cleverly, and it's led to a corner.
Yeah, well, nice and bright there by Mark Albrighton. First interaction on the ball, drove through, won the free kick. Tielemans is in, nice and quick, and Leicester on the front foot now, and first time they've been in QPR's half this second half.
Yeah, and Yuri Tielemans is about to ping this corner in. QPR have left two forward. It should be goalkeeper's ball, and it is. Held out towards Charlie Austin. Into Chair. Then more neat football here, and it's Fofana. Absolutely haired back to put that out of play.
Well, it's brilliant defending, and you know, he's an athlete. He's committed to get back from a Leicester corner, but QPR breaking quick again. We mentioned they leave two up. They break, the goalkeeper wins it, Charlie Austin, and they win themselves a corner. But good defending by Fofana again, just shows his commitment.
Try telling Wesley Fofana it's a pre-season friendly. He has been everywhere. Chair fizzes that one in. Willock's effort! What a strike! That has hit the upright, and it would have been a scorching second.
I mean, what a strike. Really is. Great connection. Couldn't have been any better.
Here's Dykes. Willock left it for Wallace. Another corner. Well, that was a heck of a hit.
I mean, what a technique as well. You know, composed himself, steadied himself. Great strike, it really is.
You're seeing the replay there. QPR have taken the corner quickly. Swung in again to the far post. Again, Wesley Fofana is the man who is there.
This is a brilliant test for Leicester. This is what you want from pre-season. You want it to be competitive. It's brilliant. You know, they're having to defend set pieces, aerial battles, high tempo. Really, really good workout for them.
Great noise inside this stadium. It's nowhere near full. It will be for Millwall here in 7 days' time. Elias Chair is going to take this. It's a loopy ball, and it almost fell perfectly on a plate for a tap-in. Now, Leicester think that should be a goal kick. The referee has given a corner kick. And they've taken it short again to Willock. Just had that blistering hit. It's back to Charlie Austin, and the flick goalwards is turned home. It is 2-0 to Queen's Park Rangers, and their players deserved an early goal in this second half. I think it's Johan Barbe who has got it, and this is a mountain to climb now for Leicester City in this pre-season friendly.
Yeah, it is, you know, but QPR are just a little bit bright at the moment. Take the corner nice and quickly and nice and short. Look like it's over here. Win the first header, a delightful little ball back in. I can't see who's on the edge of the box. Maybe it's Wallace. Win the first flick from Charlie Austin, I believe, and the defender's there. Is it offside? I'm not sure, but QPR are just that little bit brighter at the moment.
You know what? A few of his teammates looked to the flag, looked to the linesman. It didn't go up. We don't have VAR. And it stands, and it's 2-0. And it was Barbe who applied the final touch. Mark Warburton will be very, very pleased with what he's seeing. Beat Manchester United here by 2 goals. Now beating Leicester by 2 goals. Fofana. Brilliant. Now Albrighton. Fofana looked like he was fouled. Referee's playing an advantage, or playing on. Sumari. Now Ryan Bertrand in the great position. Strong piece of defending. Sumari. Wilfred Ndidi. Izzy Perez down to Ricardo. Good response this from Leicester. Big old challenge there from Wallace. It will be a throw-in for Leicester City.
You're right, Chris. It's a good response. You know, it's a professional response. It's the first time we've probably seen the 3 midfield players get on the ball and have a little bit of possession, and that makes a difference. Gives Leicester some time on the ball, reorganise, and it's a really good reaction from going 2-0 down.
Ricardo. That's the ball again. Look back through the history books, there are plenty of teams who have won every game in pre-season and gone on to have awful seasons, and vice versa with losing and go on to have brilliant seasons. But you can see why in this part of the world, speak to QPR fans, and they have an enormous amount of optimism going into the new campaign.
You can see why they're excited, and it comes from finishing last season really strongly.
Yeah.
You know, they finished the season strong, and they've had a good break, and it looks like they've continued it. And it's no fluke. You can see, you know, they're not undeserved leading here. They played very, very well. The brand of football's good, and I'd be really interesting to see how they do this season.
Sancho. Should bounce through to the goalkeeper. Oh, you know it's his day when he nutmegs Sergi Perez like that.
Especially being a central defender, yeah, not what you want to see.
Soumare leading the press there. Fofana up against Austin. It's a good battle. Tielemans scampering around to win it. Now Bertrand. Tielemans dinks it back out to Soumare. It's another gorgeous pass for Bertrand. Come through to Ricardo. Excellent control from Ricardo. And Didi lines up a shot. And a comfortable save for Seny Dieng. Tell you what, another beauty of a ball from Bouba Soumare.
Yeah, it really was. You know, it's probably the second or third one he's done today. It's a beautiful pass. You know, the inside of his foot spins it into the path of Ryan Bertram. You know, that's 2 or 3 times Ryan's got forward this second half as well. So, you know, better from Leicester. And Soumare, I think he's grown as a player in this game.
Here he is trying to pinch that ball, which he almost did. Austin, gorgeous ball for Chair, and Wesley Fofana, you thought he'd been beaten there, but it's a wonderful piece of defending. And Tielemans releases Perez. Vardy doesn't get there thanks to an excellent piece of defending. What a brilliant pre-season friendly this is now.
I was just about to say the same thing. It's like a competitive game. I mean, what a game from one attack to the other. Fofana, great interception, ball into Tielemans, slides it through to Perez, and you can see exactly what he's trying to do, that early pass to Jamie Vardy. But good defending, but it's a brilliant game to watch.
I think it was Rob Dickey with the defending, taken short to Albrighton. Albrighton whizzes that one in, and again, decent hands from Seny Dieng.
Good reaction from Leicester, though, it really is, you know, and certain players leading the way. They're 2-0 down, but look, it's still about fitness. It's not all about the result at this stage of pre-season or season, but it's been a great reaction by Leicester.
We are about to see wholesale changes. See down there by the tunnel, top of your picture. But not before Wilfred Ndidi has this ball. He's picked out Vardy. Couldn't quite smuggle it through to Mark Albrighton. Harvey Barnes now into Willock. There's a lot of space for him. And he bombs forward into it. Fancied the shot as well, and why not, having hit the post earlier on in the second half. Sonchu has done very well to stop that being a corner for a short time at least. Oh, he's done ever so well, the Turkey star, and that was lovely from Ryan Bertrand as well. Vardy will chase after it. I'm expecting 8 or 9 to come on the next time this ball goes out of play. Willock. Coming into a good game, and there's very little movement on the QPR bench at the moment. So the 11 on the pitch now are, many of them are going to play perhaps the best part of the full 90, which is to be expected given where they are in pre-season. As Fofana again reads the game so well, and actually that is a Leicester throw, and that will mean the introduction of all of these changes. Luke Thomas is coming on, Patson Daka is coming on, Daniel Amati is coming on, Ben Nelson, Filip Benkovic and Kamil Soa is coming on, and so is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Hamza Chowdhury. Sonchu heading off, Perez and Didi, Soumare, Tielemans, Bertrand and Vardy, Ricardo as well. I'm fairly sure I'm right in saying, and it's difficult on this occasion, pre-season friendlies, believe me, that Eldin Jakupovic is now the only player on the pitch who started the game. Mark Albrighton came on, of course, at half-time, and 9 now have come on 60 minutes, including Patson Daka, as you just saw there, he's still waiting for his first Leicester City goal. He's playing up front now with Kelechi Iheanacho. And he's immediately looking to make himself known to the Queen's Park Rangers defenders. Daniel Amati will leap. Here is young Ben Nelson again. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, one of those in central midfielders, tries to get near to Odubajo. Willock. They're coming into a game where QPR are playing very, very well. So Brighton now, by the way, has gone over to the right. It's more a customary position. For everybody else, getting up to the pace of this game, they're going to have to do it very quickly. And Amati did that there against Charlie Austin. Now Dewsbury Hall. Well, Brighton pokes it forward towards Iheanacho. It's a really good pace to this game. It has been from minute one, really.
It has. It's been a brilliant game, Chris, and the players coming on will have to get used to this tempo very, very quickly, because I think you're right, QPR, most of the team will play 90 minutes. It's their last pre-season game. They want to be up to speed for the opening game of the season, so need to get up to speed pretty quickly.
All Brighton again. Formation-wise, it looks like Iheanacho is playing just behind Patson Daka. The way that Daka was playing just behind Jamie Vardy, actually, in a 4-4-2 on Wednesday night at Wickham.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Daka, you know, as a central striker, the furthest forward striker. I think that's his natural position, to stretch the defence. It would be good to see his pace and see him lead the line.
Important minutes for him in the Leicester shirt. The new mint away kit being worn for the second time. You can buy it now as well. Go to the website lcfc.com/shop and get your hands on one, as Michael Brighton tried to nick his way down that far side, wearing the captain's armband now, as he was in the second half at Adams Park. We are going to see at least one Queen's Park Rangers change by the looks of things shortly. Barbe shanks that into the well, the game goes on, and Iheanacho was almost up there. Dewsbury Hall couldn't feed it back to Mark Albrighton. Jimmy Dunn is going to be the man who is going to come on. Boy from Burnley this summer, came through the ranks at Manchester United. A nice chair for QPR. Odubajo, it's Luke Thomas that he's tricked his way beyond. Every time a QPR player gets towards the edge of the box, there's the big old shoot shout from the fans. Daka can't get there ahead of QPR man. Kept the ball tremendously well in this game.
Brilliant, really, really good. Look full of confidence. They really do. Been very impressed with, you know, Willock, Chair. I know I keep mentioning, I'm repeating myself, but their movement off the ball is exceptional. It really is.
Yeah, it's been excellent. Jordi Device, his pre-season is done in terms of matches anyway, and Jimmy Dunn comes on. And we are going to see a former Leicester man as well, because here is George Thomas. Never quite happened for him at the King Power Stadium, but he comes on for the score of the first, Charlie Austin, who, as you might expect, gets a big, big hand.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fan's favourite, he really is, and you know, you can see he brings a lot to the team. He's that hold-up player. When they need to go long, he holds the ball up well, and you can see he's clinical. From his finish, top class.
With Charlie Austin, I'm right in saying it's always been some of the injuries he's picked up, sadly, have curtailed some of his development, but he's a wonderful player. Here is Thomas, his first involvement. I'm sure he'd love to score against Leicester. Emil Soa Sandaka's on the move. Couldn't quite muscle his way beyond the QPR defence.
It was good play by Daka. I actually thought he got pulled back there and maybe potentially fell, but you know, he wanted the ball on his feet, tried to turn first time to try and get that strike off, but it's good movement from him.
Good movement from Iheanacho. Kelechi Iheanacho for Leicester City. Big block from Rob Dickey.
And he's so good at that, Chris. You know, he's patient in his movement, and you know, Mark Albrighton with them balls, them long raking balls, is top class. So couldn't quite get that first touch right, but his movement again was good. Like Wickham, he had that half chance there with his movement. You know, just try to get it onto his right foot. Couldn't get a clean strike, but good movement.
Corner goes short to Iheanacho. Back to Albrighton. They've worked this lovely. Albrighton's ball headed away. Benkovic down to Dewsbury Hall. Pin ball falls to Amati. And hooked away as far as Willock. Again, they left two forward. But Leicester have won it with Albrighton. Lovely feet. And Nelson. Lovely pass with his left foot. Dewsbury Hall. Chair is holding his head. Leicester are playing on. Surprised the referee hasn't stopped the game. He does now. In fairness, I don't think he'd spotted it, but his chair for 30 seconds there was just holding his face.
I think it's just maybe just a slight clash. Maybe catches the elbow. An innocent challenge, but maybe caught him in the eye. And if you get it in the eye, it's very difficult, obviously, to see.
"20 minutes left. Marty hoping that Nikopovic is there, and he is. We'll see if he plays the 90. Wait and see when Danny Ward and Kasper Schmeichel are available. It's a good ball from Iheanacho. I think Thomas had his ankles clipped there. I don't think Moses Odebaji knew much about it, but it stopped his run.
No, it was just, you're right there. It was just a clash, a tangle. Good movement by Thomas, though, coming from out to in, coming centrally. A nice ball from Iheanacho, but yeah, just couldn't quite get in under it. Good defending by the QPR defender.
Done with the long clearance. Hamza Chowdhury and Lyndon Dykes were battling away. Oh, lovely skill, at least. It didn't lead to a pass, but Lyndon Dykes. It's a very cute ball to Barbe. Flag was up. He shakes his finger. In fact, I think it was Wallace, actually, I should say.
Yeah, Wallace, you know, has been a real attacking threat for QPR in first half and second half. Got in some really good positions, and it was a lovely pass, and just offside this time, but that's been one of QPR's strengths, the left-hand side.
Now Benkovic, of course, at some stage, Brendan Rodgers and the coaching staff are going to have to decide on the final 25-man Premier League squad. There's going to be some competition to get in it as well. Albrighton. A while before that decision needs to be made. It'll have to be a Europa League squad as well. Get your tickets for Wednesday's matchup with Villarreal, King Power Stadium. Europa League winners. Another excellent test. Different test. As Albrighton clips it forward. So we're here in another decent position. Albrighton. Ball beats the goalkeeper. Iheanacho will keep it in play. And he's picked out Hamza Chowdhury. Chowdhury encouraged to shoot, went for placement. And it's a comfortable save for the keeper.
Yeah, good play by Iheanacho. You know, come from cross from an overhit cross from Mark Albrighton, and introduced Chowdley into the centre of the pitch, you know, and that space opened up for him. Hesitated to start with, but yeah, just didn't quite get a clean contact on that, tried to curl it into that far pass where maybe could have put his laces through it.
Chowdhury again. First goal for Leicester was that absolute cracker at Newcastle. Now Chow, Marty did well. And Nelson, great experience for him. We're even closer to the action than we were at Adams Park, and the closer we are, the bigger that young Ben Nelson looks, frankly, as QPR ready. Another couple of changes. Albert Adoma is one of those who is coming on. Lee Wallace, captain, has had a very good 75 minutes, best part of it, and he comes off. Sam McCallum is coming on, who arrived on loan from Norwich City. So McCallum on for Wallace, and Adoma is on for Moses Odegaard. Confirmation on your screen there of the changes. Well, when you know, Dean, that Albert Adoma isn't necessarily in your best 11 at this stage of a season, it shows QPR have a decent squad.
Yeah, they do, they really do, and some depth in that squad as well. You know, Albert's been around a long time, but I'm sure he's won 2 or 3 promotions, so it'd be brilliant for the squad. And yeah, they look a good team.
Patson Daka might come back to Dewsbury Hall. It does! Thumping finish. Leicester's first goal of this pre-season is scored by Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and it's a bullet.
And that's what Kieran can do, you know, he gets forward, he's got a lovely left foot, he starts the move, you know, tries to slide Daka in. Daka does very well, uses his strength, and that ball just bounces nicely to Kieran there. You know, Dewsbury anticipates the ball, and a lovely finish, you know, side foot finish, but with power as well at that near post. Really, really good finish, and that'll do him in a world of good. You know, his first goal for Leicester City, I believe. Brilliant goal.
Why put it home? We've got a pre-season game on our hand now. It's been really lively from minute 1. And now QPR only have a 1-goal advantage. Always wants the ball.
Yeah, he's a talent, Chris, he really is. I'm a big fan of his. Like I say, I've worked with him up close. I've trained with him. I've seen him play. He's had a couple of good loan moves. A little bit of an example like Harvey Barnes. So, you know, he's working his way into the first team squad.
Here is Willock. Fancy another effort. Thomas. It's a really good play from his namesake Luke. Thomas, and Dewsbury Hall is then fouled. One of those that Luke Thomas hasn't had to go through that loan route due to his very fast and quick elevation to the first team. Saw a stat about the England squad heading into the Euros though, Dean, about almost all of them had a loan spell at some stage in their career, or 2 or 3 in the likes of Harry Kane. It's the way now, isn't it, for so many?
I think it's so important. You know, I've had loan experiences as a youngster myself. I worked as loan manager, so I looked after some players. And I think it's really effective. You know, you get to experience what first team football is all about, on and off the pitch, because that's really, really important. And I think 2 or 3, you know, Harvey Barnes worked in MK Dons, to Barnsley, to West Brom, to the first team at Leicester, and it really, really benefits the players.
Well, Brighton, that's brilliant. Patson Daka scores his first Leicester City goal. There'll be plenty more, I'm sure. Celebrates with the fans, and from 2-0 down, Leicester have levelled this pre-season friendly.
Brilliant goal, you know, typical Leicester. Mark O'Brien, I mean, what a pass it is, and the movement from Daka, we mentioned him playing the furthest forward striker, you know, really composed. Look, left foot, near post, sees the gap, and you can see from that finish why he scored so many goals and why Leicester City have signed him. So, lovely finish, really is.
34 last season for Salzburg, 27 the year before, up and running as a fox. Well, what's going to happen now in the next 12 minutes?
But it's brilliant because we've seen so many occasions Mark Albrighton's pass to a Jamie Vardy over the years, and he's doing it to Daka again, and you can see that's why they brought him in. And yeah, I mean, what a game for pre-season, it really is.
It's a very good point. That movement from Patson Daka there was Jamie Vardy-esque.
And you can see, you know, if Daka's learned that already, Mark Albrighton's understanding that stuff you work on the training ground. Again, practicing games, pattern of play, round mannequins. This is the type of movement we want. Mark Albrighton sees it. Brilliant finish.
Here's Albert Adoma. Luke Thomas has done well. Here's Willock. Picks out Chair. Dewsbury Hall started the comeback, has won it. Mark Albrighton whizzes that ball up the touchline for Soa to chase. And Barbe has put that out of play. He thinks he's fouled, but it's a corner kick.
And just roles reverse. Leicester look a little bit brighter now. The substitutions that have come on have had a real impact. They've changed the game, and Leicester on top. Whether it's QPR tiring, you know, because they've been on for longer, you know, but Leicester look really, really bright now. And, you know, I think they could go on and win this game.
Well, Brighton's going to take this. And sometimes that raft of changes can upset the balance, can't it? But it's galvanised Leicester today.
It can go either way, Chris, but luckily it's a positive for Leicester.
Well, Brighton will swing this corner in. He'll come all the way out to Soa, who's encouraged to shoot, and he does. And got good connection. Hamza Chowdhury read that. Couldn't keep it in play, but that was absolutely what he needed to do.
Yeah, and he's good at that, Hamza. Reads the play, and again, he's quick across the ground. Makes up that space really, really quickly and intercepts the ball. And that's a real strength to his game. It really is. If he can develop the other parts of his game with his passing, I think he's going to have a good career at Leicester.
Oh, Patson Daka there. I say he almost robbed the goalkeeper. He did. He managed to tackle him and put it out of play, but that was a very nervy moment. We had one of those inside 20 seconds for QPR at the back.
It looks bright, Daka, now. That goal, you know, it's amazing what a goal can do for a player. He looks full of energy now and full of running.
He's already got a chant by the sounds of things.
I mean, it's a superb finish. It really is. With his side foot, no hesitation, looked really natural to him.
Chowdhury again read that. Iheanacho can't quite pick up the pieces. Good test now, this for QPR. Can they regain some of their control? Thomas and Adoma. And here's Dykes. He's dug out a good ball. And Marty clears only as far as Willock. He's forced to go the long way. He's been a super performer for QPR today. He's got it back to Adoma. And Filip Benkovic puts it on the play for a QPR corner.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff, Chris, and QPR on top now having an opportunity. But Willock, you're right, he looks sharp, he looks strong, looks like a talented player, but good defending by Leicester and another set piece for QPR.
Everybody back. So far back that Dieng, the goalkeeper, is basically on halfway out of your picture. Elias Chair is going to take this. Looks like he's going to play the 90. Although they are readying another change, Mark Warburton. Flung in, and that is just wide off the post, in fact, but drilled home by Rob Dickey. And QPR are back in front. Topsy-turvy old pre-season friendly, this.
Well, it's a second goal for QPR from a set piece, and Leicester haven't quite reacted well, whether that's the organisation with players coming onto the pitch. It's a delivery into the box, wins the first contact, and just reacts a little bit quicker than Kieran Dewsbury Hall. You know, he's got to do his defensive duties as well, but it's a good finish, it really is.
I thought I was going wide. We were right behind it, but it just clipped the post.
And I think that's it. You think it's going wide, but you have to react. You have to see the ball go out, and QPR have just reacted quicker, and it's a good finish from the centre half. It really is. Brilliant game.
Brilliant game. Great atmosphere. The last chair is off. Now Faisal Batash has come on to replace him. Oh, he's been another stellar performance. Hamza Chowdhury, by the way, is walking back to the referee. He's very unhappy about something that went on around that corner. I'm not sure what, but clearly thought there was a foul somewhere. Now Benkovic. Oh, Leicester were 2-0 down, got it back to 2-2. Now they're 3-2 down. There's still 6.5 minutes. Nelson, Dewsbury Hall. Now Daka. Here's Amati. Dewsbury Hall, who got Leicester's first. Didn't play much at 3 o'clock on a Saturday last season. They'll play a lot more at that time this campaign, Leicester. Even if many games will be moved, but it's been a really exciting game. Iheanacho, lovely control, and Daka was on the move. Thomas was in there to win it. Game is still being played at a brilliant pace.
Yeah, the tempo and the commitment from both sets of players is really, really good. But it was really interesting to see Iheanacho get into that number 10 role, get into that hole that he did so well last year to either slip Jamie Vardy in or Daka this time. So I think that's really good position for Iheanacho to get into, because he has that quality to pick a pass.
Nelson here, Butland and Dykes for company, and the Scotland international on the ball, and very quickly lost it again as Amati is fouled. Willock says went over a little easily.
I like the look of Nelson though. Looks very comfortable on the ball, very willing to play out from the back or drive out from the back, which I'm sure Brendan Rodgers encourages his centre halves to do. And he's been tested a few times defensively, so it looks like there's another youngster coming through from the academy.
Johnny Evans is back training with the group. Let's see if he makes his first pre-season appearance on midweek against Villarreal. George Thomas there almost won it. And 4 minutes left. Luke Thomas. To Benkovic, and it was Brighton who was on the move. Worked this nicely again, Willock. Now Doma. To Willock, another effort which he caught hold of well. Another QPR corner.
Yeah, and Willock again, good movement, coming inside, and doesn't mind taking a shot on when he gets in that position. Third or fourth time he's done that today, so really, really dangerous. A bit like Harvey Barnes when he comes in off the left side, gets centrally, and has a strike at goal.
Well, they beat Manchester United 4-2 here a week ago, and they want to do the same to Leicester City here, QPR. Thomas is going to take the set piece. They scored from their last corner from this side. It's Luke Thomas, cries for handball. I think if that's given as a penalty, with a pre-season friendly, it really wouldn't be your afternoon. Well, Brighton chases down Passing has been really firm, but Iheanacho has done brilliantly. Didn't quite find a teammate at the end of it. Lyndon Dykes. Play from Hamza Chowdhury. I feel like the way this game has gone, there is going to be one more chance in the next 2 minutes. Couldn't tell you at what end. Luke Thomas for Patson Daka, who will get there ahead of the goalkeeper, and that is a penalty. The searing pace of Patson Daka for all to see, and Leicester are going to have the chance to make it 3-3.
And that's brilliant to see, Chris, you know, the pace there, the real acceleration. You didn't think he was going to get there, but a real turn of pace, and, you know, just like Jamie Vardy does, gets to the ball first, gets a little nick, keeper commits himself, but a lovely pass by Luke Thomas as well, coming in on his right foot, but again, good movement, and that blistering pace, which is impressive.
Last season's top scorer is going to take the responsibility. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Kelechi Iheanacho is poised in front of the Leicester City supporters. And Iheanacho does not miss. His first goal of pre-season. What a game, it's 3-3.
Well, you were right, Chris, you said there'd be one more chance. As you said it, they won a penalty, but look, it's a lovely penalty, it really is. Down the middle, nice and crisp, a good height, very, very confident. Again, another striker getting on the score sheet is what you want in pre-season. Those strikers that are so important, building up their confidence.
Happens very rarely, that, by the way.
Well, you get something right, Chris.
No, as that ball was played toward Patson Daka, we were right behind it. I just sensed he was going to get there ahead of the keeper.
It was really, really good acceleration and really good pace, really good pace.
It's good from Daniel Amati. Pre-season matches are always important for the players and the coaches, but it's not often that you get one which has been quite as entertaining as this.
No, and I think both managers will be delighted. It's exactly what they wanted. You know, QPR just before the season started, brilliant workout, and for Leicester progressing through pre-season, so really, really good.
All Brighton, no free kick.
I think it's helped having the fans back as well. I think it really has.
I was just going to say that, as you said, that roar there, you know, wanting the referee to give a foul. Great noise from the Leicester end as well. 3 minutes of added on time, by the way.
Maybe a winner? Is that too much to ask?
I think Leicester fans today, whatever happens, have seen exactly what Bouba Soumaré and Patson Daka are going to bring. They probably knew what Ryan Bertrand was going to bring. Willock, that first thing that he hasn't done successfully all match long.
Yeah, but you can see what he's trying to do, and he looks really fit and strong. You know, he's played at that pace from the first minute till the last now. So, no, a good performance from him. It really is. But like you mentioned there, with the two new players settling in, it's really important. One, for their confidence. You kind of want to prove to the group that you're worthy of the signing.
Thought that was on there for Patson Daka. It still might be, because Kelechi Iheanacho, if he gets there first, might be able to create something. Back to Luke Thomas. QPR will clear their lines. Still got 2 minutes left, really. Dewsbury Hall, who made it 2-1. Started the comeback. Now Marty, the rain is falling again in West London. Chowdhury, Dewsbury Hall. Leicester now looking to win it all of a sudden. For the first time, QPR just look a little flat, but Dewsbury Hall towards Iheanacho, might run for O'Brien. It's a very, very, very good touch. How about that?
Amazing awareness, two players on him, flicks it over the head and breaks away. So brilliant play.
He knew exactly what he was doing. That's a lovely touch from Iheanacho. Carries the ball so well. Patson Daka is surely fouled. Well, he's still down here. concerning moment, holding his ankle. It's almost more important than what's happening on the pitch now. Physio is coming on, and we all hold our breath and hope that Patson Daka is okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a contact injury. He's just gone through the back of him, maybe on his Achilles, the back of his calf, which obviously can be very, very painful. But that's just getting used to the English game, really, the physicality of it. But no, he's been good, he's been impressive, and I've quite enjoyed the partnership between him and Iheanacho. They've looked dangerous together. Both got on the score sheet. Seems to be a little bit of an understanding, which is good for Leicester to see.
Patson Daka getting back to his feet here. He looks to be okay. He won't believe he's not got a free kick for that, by the way.
Well, do you know what? It did look like a free kick, I must admit. You know, modern day football, you can't really go through the back of players, so I'm probably surprised it's in.
Iheanacho might just be asking the question. Time is up now, really. Patson Daka's back on the pitch. And QPR create one more opportunity. Leicester working hard to the last whistle. 3-3 it finishes, and the warm applause from all four sides of the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium tells the story. Brendan Rodgers and Mark Warburton will have seen a lot of positives. Really, really competitive game. The travelling Blue Army have seen the first goal for Patson Daka in a Leicester shirt, and the first goals of pre-season. Brilliant game, full-time score. QPR 3, Leicester City 3. Well, Dean Hammond, we can see all the players shaking hands now. They know they've been in a real battle. Always looked a good fixture, 2 weeks shy of the season, and a smile from Brendan Rodgers, I think, tells the story. He'll be happy with many of the things he's seen this afternoon.
He really will. It was an excellent fixture. Great tempo, very, very competitive, and exactly what both managers would have wanted. I think within the first half, we mentioned it, you've seen some really good moments, but the second half was very, you know, the players that came on made an impact, which is what you want from a squad. You want competitive, for places, and I think it's been a brilliant workout. It's been a really, really good workout for the players. A 3-3 draw, it's been entertaining, there's been goals, you know, and Daka to get his first goal, and Dewsbury Hall to get his first goal for the club, excellent.
And he's showing a moment there with George Thomas, who of course he played together in the Leicester City under-23 setup when Thomas was at Leicester. But QPR now are taking their moment with their fans, and Leicester City walk over to those in the school end. Over 1,500 made the trip here, and I think they will really have enjoyed what they saw, particularly in the second half in front of goal. Patson Daka scoring one, winning the penalty for the other. We'll see those in a moment, Dean Hammond, but also a moment for Mark Albrighton, having signed his new contract, just to have his moment with the supporters ahead of the new season.
Yeah, and it's brilliant for the players, you know, with the fans back. They've had a really entertaining game today. They'll be happy, the players will be happy, and everyone's benefited from today, so it's great to see.
Plenty of smiles all round. Villarreal coming up next week, of course, at King Power Stadium, and then the Community Shield, but a lot for Leicester to be positive about, and those that came on 60 minutes and made their mark are now going to have a bit of a warm down as well. Brendan Rodgers is heading over to the Blue Army, as he did at Burton, as he did at Wickham. He loves the supporters, and my word, the fans love Brendan Rodgers. Great moments these before the pressure and everything that goes with the actual season, to come here and watch a pre-season and get close up and personal with the supporters and the players.
It is. It's a time to enjoy. You know, you've got your workout, you've done your work from the pre-season game, but it's great to share that with the fans again, and the appreciation there for Brendan Rodgers is superb. And you know, some of them might not have been able to have given that appreciation from the FA Cup wins. They've not been in the stadiums, so it's brilliant.
Yeah, for many that might just be the first time. Okay, 6 goals to get through. We're going to show them all to you now, and it started pretty much on half-time QPR probably the better team in the first half, Dean Hammond, and they scored a real beauty.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was a demonstration of their first half play, combination, movement off the ball. It's good play by Chair. I thought we had a really impressive afternoon and a good pullback to Charlie Austin, and that's what Charlie does best. Movement in the box, composed finish, great strike and no chance, and probably you'd have to say what QPR deserved.
Thumping finish from Charlie Austin. Very little that Eldin Jakupovic could do. Leicester fans leaving from the school end, and when the second goal went in for Queen's Park Rangers in the second period, they probably thought that Leicester were going to be heading to a pre-season defeat, and this followed a lovely spell of pressure from QPR. It ended with the goal.
It did. They looked really bright in that start of that second half, and it's a lovely ball back in, and they just react a little bit quicker in this moment, and during that period of that second half they look brighter, they look more eager. It's a good finish, and you know, Leicester will be a little bit disappointed, but they're the lessons you want to learn in pre-season, so you can cut them out and be ready for the start of the real season.
Now they did make some changes, QPR, shortly after that goal, and so did Leicester. Leicester made 9 changes on 60 minutes, and one of them, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, came up with a big moment for him to make it 2-1 and to get Leicester back into this contest.
He did, and he started influencing the game. You know, he's so good at that, driving through the centre of the pitch from midfield, you know, and just anticipates that ball may come back to him, continues his run, and it's a lovely finish. You know, it's good play by Daka, nice and strong, and just sees that opportunity, side foots it into the goal, and it's a really, really strong finish. And you know, that's not easy to do. He's made it look easy at that near post, and it's a lovely finish.
I love the way that he picked up the ball, as if to say, I know it's only a pre-season, but I want to get something from this game, and the equaliser came about pretty quickly, and this perhaps the best moment for Leicester in pre-season so far, not just the goal, but the goal scorer.
Yeah, and it's a lovely pass from Mark Albrighton as well, which we've seen him do many times. You know, we mentioned it, the combination he has with Jamie Vardy, and again, you know, Daka's movement off the ball, a demonstration of his pace again, but his finish as well, really relaxed there, you know, real natural finish. Didn't hesitate, again, side footing into goal. Don't have to put your laces through it, and you know, that'd be brilliant for his confidence.
Big smile on his face. He and the rest of the players are just going through their warm down, those that did come on 60 minutes. The hard work not done yet at West London. We wonder whether Leicester might go on to win the game at that stage, but QPR got the 5th goal of an absorbing contest again from a set piece.
Yeah, again, I think that's what the only disappointment is, 2 goals from set pieces really, where you could defend a little bit better. But again, I think the players just assume that it's going to go out. You can see there from Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, you know, just a little bit flat-footed, doesn't react, and the QPR defender just reacts a little bit quicker. And it's a good finish, it's a tidy finish, a great strike. But you know, QPR again reacted very well. Where Leicester had reacted well, QPR reacted well, and that's a good omen for the season.
This is the first game that they haven't won in this pre-season, Queen's Park Rangers, and the reason they haven't won it is partly down to that immense pace of Patson Daka. Leicester winning a very, very late penalty.
Yeah, we can see, look, I didn't believe he was going to get to that ball, and he does, he just gets there, but it's the acceleration, it's the power in his run, and the belief that he's going to win it, and it's a lovely pass from Luke Thomas. But I enjoyed that, I really did, seeing him come onto the pitch, and you could see he grew into the game. From his goal he gained more energy, and it was a really good penalty to win, and a great finish from Iheanacho.
Kelechi Iheanacho with the emphatic finish. You said in commentary, Dean, as well, that how much you had enjoyed watching Iheanacho and Daka play together. Of course, we know about Jamie Vardy, we know about Harvey Barnes and Ozzy Perez, but those two potentially as a partnership could be very important at some stage in the season.
Well, it will be, with the amount of games that Leicester can have in the league, in the cups, in Europe. You know, there's going to be different partnerships up front. Look, we know Jamie Vardy's the #1 striker. He's a brilliant, brilliant player, but to have that partnership that Iheanacho and Daka could produce together, or good form together, it was really good to see. And Iheanacho, I mentioned it, can come in a little bit deeper, can get on a half turn, and he's got a lovely pass to find Daka, so they could form something there.
And this is what pre-season is all about. The game is done. These guys in your picture have played 30 minutes now. They get a bit of coaching, talking amongst themselves, and I have to ask you, Dean, for your man of the match. I mean, it was a belter of a game.
Well, do you know what? In the first half, Fafana and probably he was exceptional really for most of the game. Just a really, really good performance. So look, I think there was some good individual performances, but overall, I thought Fafana was good. You know, a really good player, and I think he's grown as a player. You know, seeing him up close and live like we have today from a small ground, he's vocal as well. For a young player, that's really, really important for the position he plays. So I thought he was impressive.
You're getting a great insight as to what happens after a pre-season friendly ends now. Brendan Rodgers has just gone over to have a little chat with some of the supporters who have stayed on. And this is what it's all about. And there you can see just having a moment, having a picture taken. And those fans who didn't depart early will really cherish these moments. And you called it, right? There's only been 3 or 4 games that Leicester fans have been able to be at for the last 18, 19 months. So these moments are even more special for those supporters down there.
They are, and it would have been a huge miss for the fans and a huge miss for the players and the manager. And Brendan, you know, would realise that. You know, everything I hear, his man management skills are brilliant. He's a brilliant person, and just as another example of that. And that interaction with the fans is so important, and they really appreciate it. And I'm sure the players, you know, I think that's why we got a good game today. We mentioned it. The fans being here would have really helped that.
Brendan Rodgers, he's still down there. It's really lovely to see, and of course his only problem is that now everyone's noticed it. He might have to be down there for a few more minutes because everyone now wants their moment with the Leicester City coach. Well, that was an absolute thriller really of a pre-season friendly. Thank you very much for watching. Leicester will go again against Villarreal next midweek. Then they play Manchester City in the Community Shield before the Premier League season kicks off in 2 weeks. But that is that from the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium in West London. Great game, great watch. It has finished Queen's Park Rangers 3, Leicester City 3.